Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City versus Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. And this is another game, another season, that is season 2024-2025. And of course, us as Arsenal, we are meeting with Manchester City. And it's a game with serious competition, bearing in mind Manchester City are the winners of the EPL season 2023-2024. And of course, Arsenal became number 2 on that season. And even previously, season 2022-2023, Arsenal became number 2 and Manchester City became number 1. So some pundits or most people that talk about football would say that this has to be the biggest game in England on the EPL, because this is number 1 and number 2 for the last 2 seasons. So this is going to be a game of lots and lots of tactful plays, and it's going to be a game where no team wants to lose. Arsenal does not want to lose. Man City does not want to lose. Remember, even right now, Arsenal is at number 2. Manchester City is at number 1. So it is almost like a replica of what happened by the end of the season last season. This is a game where I believe that all the coaches, that is Arteta and Guardiola, and bearing in mind they've worked together, it's a game where everybody is coming with the tactics. Nobody wants to mess, nobody wants to lose the ball. Everybody wants to control the ball for the most part of the game. Everybody wants to control the narrative so that they can control how they want the game to be played, so that it can favor them. These are 2 coaches that play a very entertaining football. Arteta, a student of Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola has been a master in entertaining football. That is the touches, controlling the ball, and having superiority on the pitch most of the times when they are playing with any whatsoever team. So this is a battle that everybody is really willing and wishing to see, and hoping to see what the results are gonna be by the end of the day on Sunday. Yes, but just a key things that to look at on this game is of course, and I'm gonna focus more on Arsenal because I am an Arsenal fan. So as Arsenal, we are going to this match against Manchester City, and this was a match that we used to lose most of the times. It was almost like impossible to beat Manchester City, whether at the Etihad, whether at the Emirates. It was the most impossible thing to do in a couple of seasons backwards. You would almost tend to already have a result by the time, even before the game is played, by the time the game is played, and by the end of the game, you will not be wrong. Arsenal will still lose to Manchester City for the longest time, until last season when we beat Manchester City home. That is at the Emirates, and of course we went and collected a draw at the Etihad. And this excited every other Arsenal fan and supporter, and even the players. They are so motivated. And you remember even before the beginning of last season, when we played on the Community Shield, Arsenal was able to beat Manchester City on the Community Shield, and of course walked away with the Community Shield. So you can easily say that last season we played with them 3 times and they never won, not a single match against Arsenal, that is Manchester City. I want to look at a couple of things on this game. We'll look at for instance how many times we've played. Now we've played with Manchester City for this. I'm talking about the last decade. That is that is like around since 2010 all the way up to now, the current season, and we are talking about like around 39 games since 2010. Arsenal has won 10 games. Manchester City has won 21 games, and of course we've had 8 draws since 2010 till now. And this is in all competitions that we've met with Manchester City. That is the FA, the EFL, and Community Shield, and the EPL, of course. So Arsenal is going to this game with a couple of injuries. We are going to this game with an injury of Odegaard, our captain. who has been very influential. Even the games that we played last season, he was very influential on this fixture and even helping us to win. And we're also going on this game with an injury of Merino. We have an injury of a couple of players, but a couple of players also have recovered. We have Gabriel Jesus, who's back. We also have Calafiori, who is already back into play. Declan Rice, who had been suspended for one game, now is able to play this game against Manchester City. And we really hope that he is going to come through and play a very nice game, an interesting one. Now, on this game, I want to talk about the tactics and the anticipated tactics that Arteta would come in on this game and that is going to help him to win. You know how Arsenal has been playing for the longest time. It's control the game, pass the ball, and then of course get that last touch and score the ball or score the goal. I'm not expecting that to happen tomorrow as we are playing against Manchester City at the Etihad. This is going to be a game where I feel like Arteta is going to be very tactful. We are going to play like almost the same game as we played against Atlanta on that Thursday night Champions League. Yes, I believe that most of our players are going to sit back. They are going to defend mostly and defend from the front as you go to the midfield all the way back. That is what I expect our players to do, and that is what I expect Arteta is going to do on this game. It's going to be almost the same game as to how we played with them last season at the Etihad, where we got a draw. So I anticipate that game basically. I'm not expecting to see much of the ball control and ball holding, dribbling. No, I don't expect to see that. And remember, we've seen the game on Tottenham, and we've seen that Arteta can really play this same game because he has played the same style of game in 2 games. That is at Atlanta and also at Tottenham. And it has really worked for Arteta, especially for the fact that he has good wingers who really drop back and come to assist the defense. And I'm talking about what Martinelli has been able to do for the last 2 games, how he runs back to assist the defense, and Saka, how Saka runs back to assist the defense on the other wing. So I believe that as much as we start our usual format of 4-3-3 or sometimes 4-2-3-1, I anticipate that this game mostly we are going to start like a 5-2-2-1. That is what I anticipate is going to be on this game. So let's wait and see how it's going to be. But I can assure you that is what I'm expecting that is going to happen on this game against Manchester City. Because you do not want to go to meet with Manchester City and then, of course, hold the ball, dribble, and then if you miss that ball, how they are very clinical, especially going forward. Remember, they have with them Haaland, they have a couple of players that can really antagonize you, even score quickly, and on a flip of a switch, just like that, you hear they've already scored. So it is a game that is going to be full of tactics. What we know and what I know and what I've seen on the Premier League for the longest time and how Pep Guardiola plays, he doesn't change much of his game. He comes in, controls the ball, wants to attack, wants to score, and the only thing that changes when he's playing against these big teams, and I'm talking about Big Six, and even when he goes to international matches, he gives KDB that free role. But what we hearing, KDB is doubtful to play on this match. So this is also going to be another added advantage to Arsenal, because you realize how KDB has been influential on these matches when you are playing with Manchester City. But he's doubtful though, because he got a knock on the game on the Champions League when they were playing with Inter. It's yet to be confirmed if he's going to play. What I'm certain, of course, our captain is not playing. So out of the lineup that we had for last season, I think Odegaard and KDB, they could be missing. Odegaard is missing definitely, but of course KDB could be missing this match. So if KDB is not there, this is also going to be another advantage for Arsenal, even as you're going to face Manchester City on the EPL. Now, I want to talk about the anticipated lineup that I would think Arsenal will play with tomorrow. that would actually maybe end up working. Right now, remember, we have a problem because our number 10 Odegaard is not there. Of course, if I'm choosing the squad and if I'm Arteta, I am choosing Raya on the goalkeeper. Definitely it has to be Raya. The two duo, that is Saliba, Rolls-Royce, Gabriel Magalhaes, Timber and White on the back. And then of course on the midfielder, I would play with Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Havertz. If I was Arteta, this is how I would play it. Havertz at number 10. And then of course on the attacking front, I would start with the Trossard as number 9, and then Saka as number 7, and then Martinelli as number 11. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I would start. Alternatively, some people would argue and say, because we have Jesus right now, how about instead of Trossard, we start with Jesus, because Jesus has played with Manchester City and he understands how they play. Some people would also argue and say we can actually give Sterling the chance to play where Martinelli plays. But for me, I would be against that idea, because this game, like I've told you, it's a game that you're going to win by mostly sitting back and controlling the game from the back and defending and try to get those counter attacks or that chance or even that set piece corners or even free kicks to be able to score this game. Because I don't think you're going to play our game like I've told you from previously. I don't think you're going to play a game that is control, hold the ball, dribble. No. Now, having said this, I would also say that on the bench we should also give Nwaweri a chance, so that in case Havertz doesn't show up 100% on that number 10, we can actually put Nwaweri there to come in, because this would also be a good idea to also showcase him. And maybe this should be around like on the 60 something minutes, 65 there and about, so that he can come in and get to play. And Sterling also, for me, I would also want him to come in at the 60 something minutes to come and of course play for us. But of course, like I've said, it is a game that needs 100% concentration. You cannot just play anybody anyhowly. It has to be players that have been compact together and have 100% concentration and play to the tactics of the coach. Yes. So basically, this is going to be a very tough game. And the other thing that I would say about this game, maybe a key thing to note, is that right now Manchester City is ahead of Arsenal with on the table is at number 1. Manchester City is at number 2. Remember, Manchester City has 12 points, Arsenal has 10 points. So if Arsenal was to get a draw, then Man City would be ahead of Arsenal with 3 points. And you do not want Man City to run away from you. You want Manchester City to be always near and around you, because this season they've started well, unlike the last 2 seasons. Another thing to note is that the goal difference. So Man City has 8 goals and Arsenal has 5 goals. And should Arsenal lose this game, then it means that Manchester City is going to be at 15 points and Arsenal is going to retain its 10 points. So we are going to be behind them, because should they win, they will still be leading the table. So we're going to be behind them with 5 points. And it's something that you do not want to start happening right now. You want to make sure that you are at par with Man City. Should we win the game though, should we beat Manchester City, then we will be at 13 points. And that is 10, 11, 12, 13 points. And Manchester City will come in, will be ahead of them with 1 point. So they will be at 12. Which is actually a good thing for us. We actually need to win this game. If we are serious, and this is my overall view and overall take on this game, if we are serious enough that we want to compete with Manchester City and win this EPL season 2024-2025, we need to make sure that game we are going, the least that we can get is a draw, but the match result that we want on that game is actually a win. If we beat them right now, and bearing in mind the season is still early, yes, people would say that the season is still early. Even if we were to beat them, there's still so many games. But if we beat them now, then we are putting that statement out there that we are still stronger and competitive on this league. And if we were to beat Manchester City, I can assure you the next coming game is going to be a win for Arsenal on most of the games, because every team will be looking at us and they know these are people that have beaten the champions, and they've not lost to Manchester City in a couple of games. That is, it's going to be now 4 games if you were to win this one. So I would wish and I would hope that Arsenal wins this game and even after winning this game, we continue and win a couple of games that are coming up ahead on us, so that we can continue being that competitive and have the right direction and a positive direction to winning this EPL season 2024-2025. So we are gonna sit back and believe as you've always believed, even as you're going to the Etihad, and know that it is doable, it can work, it can happen. We can do it. We've done it before. We can do it, and we can actually win this game. So my prediction on this game is gonna be very simple. I am looking at a scenario of I'm looking at a scenario of I'm gonna give 2 predictions. So this game is a draw of either 0-0 or 1-1, and equally I can also say Arsenal win 1-0. So I don't know which one I would go with. Should I go with the draw, or should I go with Arsenal win of 1-0? And I'm saying Arsenal win because Manchester City does not have KDB. And you guys, you know, KDB has been very influential. Okay, they say that he could not be there. Very influential and more on this fixture. Because Haaland, honestly speaking, is always totally lost on a game like this one. And especially, and basically most big games, Haaland is always lost. You'd almost not see him on the game, the entire of the game. So I would say we can actually win this game. I believe that we can win this game. Anyway, let's wait and see how the game is gonna be. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Mr. Joe, and bye bye for now.